97.1. Nice to have you with us on a Tuesday. Rieger riding shotgun, the usual suspects behind the glass. And just before we took the air today, a blockbuster deal that absolutely affects the Tigers. And there's so many issues surrounding it. I think we hijacked the show and we lead with it. It is a hot take Tuesday. I mean, we have some real sizzlers here. So just to give you a preview of what we're going to get to today, mull this one over. Jabril Peppers is the worst player to ever be a Heisman finalist. That's a hot take! Ha ha! Now, we'll get to that later. Hot Take Tuesday begins with this. Rieger, Chris Sale, White Sox, dealt to the Boston Red Sox. Dave Dombrowski does it again. You can think whatever you want about Dave Dombrowski, but Dave Dombrowski's ability to execute blockbuster trades is like none other. And the ability for him to get Chris Sale from the White Sox, I think the White Sox got ripped off.
Dombrowski.
Maybe it's a sign of where things are. Maybe that's where the market's at. But Chris Sale makes $38 million over the next 3 years. Example, you pay Justin Verlander $28 per year. Chris Sale is free. Marco Estrada makes more money than Chris Sale. So, to me, if the White Sox have 3 years to trade Chris Sale, I don't know what you were in a rush for. But the White Sox now, if you make that move, they're going to deconstruct. They're going to trade Jose Quintana. They're going to trade Todd Frazier. They're going to strip this thing down. They're going to become the Twins. You have the Royals, who are kind of in the middle. Royals have about 7 core free agents. They're not going to be able to keep all of them. You hear rumors this week they could be trading half their bullpen.
Yes.
Okay, so let's assume the Royals take a step back. All of this is on the heels of Al Avila seemingly pulling a complete 180. And now we're not trading anybody. Oh, we're just going to sit tight. We're just going to WBBT it. We're bringing the band back together. So I want to offer you, irrespective of my thoughts on the Chris Sale deal and irrespective of my thoughts on Dombrowski, I want to offer you a hot take. And I'm not advocating it. I'm asking if it's how you're feeling. With what's going on in the division and everybody going backwards except the Indians, is the WBBT, the bringing the band back together, actually the best move in the short term, that you will be in the worst division in baseball and you will have a shot to win it? No Twins, no White Sox, and presumably the Royals will be taking a step back. You keep everything together and you don't go 1-50 against the Indians. Is that a hot take, or is that maybe how Tiger fan is feeling today on a rainy Tuesday? That's a hot take! I don't think I deserve that.
Oh, I think you do.
No, I'm not advocating it. I'm asking it. 248-539-9797. You've got really strong thoughts on this, so go ahead.
I think that is a hot take. I do, because I don't think the Tigers, if they trade nobody, will win the AL Central. The Indians are going to be healthier. They get Carrasco back. They get Brantley back. They get their relievers back. They're going to be a healthier baseball team. And I know they made the World Series, so people don't think they can make it back for some reason. And the Royals, rather, the Royals are going to get Moustakas back. They're going to get Kane back. They're going to get Hosmer back.
Yeah, but you're not listening. They're trading people. And if they don't have their lockdown bullpen, their starters aren't good enough to be of any relevance.
I don't disagree with that. However, Davis and Herrera and Soria, are they for sure trading them? If they don't trade them, I still think the Kansas City Royals are a better team than you. Now, under your premise, if they trade them, I think the Tribe are a better team than you. I just think that you've gone 2 years with this core that you've seen, and they didn't get the job done. Now, you want to blame injuries? Blame injuries. But they haven't got the job done in 2 years. And you know the worst part of it all? Miggy's getting older. Verlander's getting older. Kinsler's getting older.
What you're not paying attention to is reality. Maybe all of us were wrong. Look, Al Avila showed his hand, and I think it blew up in his face.
I think you're right about that.
I think he showed his hand. Oh, we're going to shop. We're going to be selling. You're going to give us all the prospects. And you know what happened? Hey, Al Avila from the Tigers here. Wanted to know if you're interested in Miguel Cabrera. Nobody was giving him anything. Report came out in the New York Post that several executives around the league went, yeah, the Tigers are nuts. They're asking way too much for everybody. So now it turns around. Chris Sale gets dealt. What the White Sox got for Chris Sale is a joke. And Yohan Moncada could be a star. And this reliever, Kopech, who throws 100 million miles an hour, look, understand something. I am dealing you Chris Sale on a pennies-on-the-dollar contract. I needed more. White Sox have 3 more years of Sale at $38 million total. If Sale was on the open market, he would make $30 million in 1 year. So I'm making a point to you. The market didn't bear out anything close to real value when you factor in the financial issue with Sale. What the hell was it going to bear out for Verlander? You weren't getting Yohan Moncada. You weren't getting any of those guys. So if the market doesn't bear it out, what choice do you have but to sit? And if the rest of the division's going to suck, roll with it.
I don't know if the division's going to suck. I get your point. I think it's a fair point. I do. However, I look more down 2 things. Number 1, is this Tiger team going to be good enough to win the division or make a wild card? I'm not convinced. Number 2, you might be right. Maybe you're not getting the crazy that you wanted back. However, I still believe you'd get something for Miggy. You get something for Verlander.
No.
Hold on a second.
Don't say something. That's disingenuous.
I still think you would get value.
What kind of value? Because the White Sox got ripped off.
It does seem that way.
And they had 3 years at about $12.5 million a year of Sale. What do you think you're getting for Verlander, who's 7 years older and gets paid more than double what Sale gets paid?
I still think you could get value. I don't know the exact value.
The point I'm making to you, and maybe this is where we begin the show. Right here, right now, are you advocating that even if the market doesn't bear out appropriate value, you still want the Tigers to just, quote, get what they can?
I do.
Okay, then that's where we begin.
That's fine.
248-539-9797. If the market is not bearing out legitimate value, I offer to you, you have no choice but to sit. And I'm not telling you that the White Sox got nothing. Look, Yohan Moncada by some people is a guaranteed star. Cuban second baseman, whatever. The Red Sox paid over $60 million for the prospects that they're dealing to the White Sox. The White Sox had 3 years to make this trade. Do I believe they got maximum value for Chris Sale? I don't. So if that's a harbinger of the new reality of Major League Baseball, don't the Tigers have no choice but to sit? And we can get into whether your GM did a bad job showing his hand or not. That's fine. I think he did. I think he showed his hand, thought he had some hot bleep to deal, and people went, yeah, Al, love you. That's not happening. 248-539-9797. Your ticket text 97136. It is a Hot Take Tuesday, and we got a ton of really good stuff to get to. But this Chris Sale deal is huge. Winter meetings are on. Your GM did a 180. Now it looks like you're bringing the band back together. It's like Joe Dumars runs the Tigers.
There it is. I got news. They are bringing the band back together. They're keeping everybody.
So my question is, if you don't like what they're doing, what's your solution? The market clearly isn't there. If Chris Sale couldn't land you more when he gets paid dirt, Marco Estrada makes more money. Mike Pelfrey makes $8 million. Sale makes $12.5. What are we doing? I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, all right, this is the new reality. And there's no comparison between Avila and Dombrowski or Avila and Epstein.
No.
Or Avila and Andrew Friedman. There's not. I don't believe Al Avila is some savant. Dave Dombrowski was able to take a team that had a farm system, and he's turning it into players. All he's there to do is win one World Series in Boston.
Right.
One.
He did the same exact thing in Detroit.
And
he took a
short.
lot of prospects and did fall short. He got you to 2. one nobody thought you'd ever get to in 2006. In Boston, they have all new prospects. He can deal whatever he wants. Now they can go out and get a DH. They're going to be a stud ball club for years to come with some of their young talent.
He managed to bring in stars and get things done without ever dealing Mookie Betts, without ever dealing Jackie Bradley, and without ever dealing Benintendi.
With the Tigers, though, it comes down to, do you just believe, okay, bring the band back for 1 year, you really believe they can compete in the AL Central, do some damage in the postseason, or do you say to yourself, this is more than about 1 year? And if it is more than about 1 year, you better get what you can for the guys you have, because they're going to go south quick. And I do believe the rebuild, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be that much more painful if you don't get what you can right now. You're not buying that.
No, I'm shocked. I'm really surprised. Amazing.
What at, buddy? What?
Amazing.
What?
It's the same thing during baseball season.
What do you got? What troubles you? Come on.
It was a weird season with the Tigers. It was a weird season. People just were kind of burnt on it, didn't want to talk about it. One of the best pitchers in the AL just left your division. It has a direct impact on your team. Your team now has done a 180. You might be stuck having some of these people and not rebuilding. Honest to God. Yeah, I mean, you're better off coming on here and talking about a poo-poo platter.
Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Hey, can we do What's Your Favorite Soup?
No, we can't. No, I'll give it one segment. I mean, that's fine. I just don't understand it. Every day we take the air, we have full lines by 2:10. I bring up hot stove and Tigers and really interesting real stuff, and it's like this is one of my frustrations with this city. It is just a wacky baseball town, and people don't talk baseball. Like, baseball plays in Boston and in New York and Chicago 365. It is the winter meetings. Your team was allegedly rebuilding, restructuring. Your general manager did a 180 after seemingly showing his cards, overplaying his hand, and realizing, yeah, nobody wants what we have. Now you may be faced with an aging ball club and a bloated payroll and an absolute delay in rebuilding. Rieger is right. The longer you wait, the more painful it is. Signed my Yankees.
And the Phillies.